The second DLC in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet will be out in less than 2 weeks from the time I upload this video. It was actually officially announced that we'll be getting some of the hardest battles that we've had in a long time in all of Pokemon. Because of this, and just to make sure that you guys have the most fun that you can, I'm making this video to help you learn how to prepare for the Scarlet and Violet second DLC. There are multiple things you can do to prepare. You don't have to do all of them, it's kind of just your preference, but I'm going to cover all of those today. Before we get started, check out my Twitter, Instagram, and Discord. All the links will be down in the description below. It would really help me out. I do post on my community tab here on YouTube, but I also put stuff up on Twitter and Instagram that you could only see on those platforms. Anyway, thank you guys for 62,000 subscribers, and let's get right into the video with the first way you can prepare. The first thing you should definitely do if you own Pokemon Sword and Shield is try to get a shiny Duraludon. The whole point of doing this is so you could evolve your shiny Duraludon into Archaludon as soon as possible. If you guys forgot Archaludon or Archaludon, I forget how you say it. It's going to be a new evolution of Duraludon from Sword and Shield. If you guys remember back in the Teal Mask DLC, you were able to bring in a shiny Applin and pretty much instantly evolve it into shiny Dipplin. A lot of people did this because they didn't want to get into the Teal Mask and then go off to shiny hunt a new Applin when they could just do that in advance in a previous game. We don't know yet how you will evolve Duraludon. It could be like Dipplin where you get a item and just use it on the Pokemon, or it might be different. We don't know yet. Also, if you don't own Pokemon Sword and Shield, you're not entirely out of luck because you could go on Pokemon Home's mobile app on the GTS and just trade for one on there. It should be pretty easy. You can breed Duraludon and hatch him at level 1, so it's not going to be hard to find one, but it might be hard to find a shiny one on the GTS. And speaking of Pokemon Home on the mobile app, there's actually another way you could prepare using Pokemon Home for Scarlet and Violet's second DLC. One really good way you can prepare is by claiming starters on free mystery gifts on the mobile app. You can claim starters from generations of games on the Switch that you link your save data to. For example, let's say you have Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl on your Switch, and you connect your same Nintendo account that you played those games on. Just by doing that, you'll be able to go on the mobile app on Pokemon Home on the same Nintendo account that you used on the Switch, and you'll be able to claim Turtwig, Chimchar, and Piplup on there for free. I believe you can do this with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, but I know for sure you can do it with Sword and Shield, Legends Arceus, and just get those Pokemon. I think Scarlet and Violet too. Every single starter Pokemon ever made will be back in the second DLC, so if you want to claim them in advance, you might as well do this. I think it's very cool that they're putting every single starter Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet now, because this will be the first game since Ultra Sun and Moon where they had all the starters. That's just crazy to even think about, because Ultra Sun and Moon on the 3DS, those games are like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old by now. It's crazy. Also, remember this picture right here where you could find all the starters in the wild? It was actually confirmed that you'll not be able to do this immediately. We don't know what it is yet, but there's going to be some form of quest or challenge that you have to do first to make it to this area and find all the starters, so you can't do it immediately. The only way to get all the starter Pokemon immediately is by simply transferring them in from other games, like using Pokemon Home or other games on your Switch. Now, while you're already on Pokemon Home, linking a game like Sword and Shield to claim those starters, you might as well check your old save files for some Pokemon to bring in. Many of you guys may have games like Pokemon Sword and Shield where, for example, you may have a Suicune or a Groudon or just some Pokemon rotting in your PC boxes that you could bring in. I know I've done this before where I kind of just move on from my old save files and I forget that there are amazing Pokemon left on those games that I could bring in the new ones. I think right now Duraludon is probably the best example for bringing in a Pokemon from the old games just because we know it has a new evolution. Who knows, maybe Archaludon will require a held item or some item to be used on Duraludon to evolve. If you want to buy it, make sure you have enough money on your game. Thankfully, to evolve Applin into Dipplin, you had to buy an item that was extremely cheap. It was like 500 Pokédollars, but who knows how expensive it may be for Archaludon. Being honest here, you probably already have enough money on your game, but it never hurts to check. It only takes a couple of minutes. I'll put a picture or some footage right up here on screen because I have a ton of money in Pokemon and I didn't even sell any of my items recently. You just kind of earn a lot of money in these games. Now, once you made sure you have enough money in your games, look around your house and dust off that old DS of yours, if you have one. You can literally see in the camera right now, mine is covered in filth and dust. I should probably scrub this up later, but you can claim old event Pokemon in 2023. Right now, I'm not going to elaborate on this too much because I recently made a new video on the KevDog Plays channel that goes fully in depth for how to do this. Basically, if you have a game like Pokemon Black and White, Diamond and Pearl even, or Heart Gold and Soul Silver, you can go and claim event Pokemon in 2023 and transfer them up to the new games with Pokemon Bank. If you guys want to find out how to do that, I'll put a link down in the description below. Check it out after this video. So now what else is there to do? Well, you can claim any old mystery gifts that you haven't claimed yet on Scarlet and Violet. At the time I'm recording this video, there are currently 3 mystery gifts that still work and are not yet expired. The earliest that any of these codes will expire is in August of next year, so you have a really long time to redeem those if you're watching this video late. If you haven't redeemed any mystery gift codes in a long time, just press the X button and then click on Poke Portal, and then you want to click on Mystery Gift. After this, scroll down once and click on Get with Code/Password and just enter the codes in there in that menu. Now, I'm sure you guys, most of you, are already in the Oceanside Pokemon Discord, but if you're not, there are bots you can use in there to maximize your Pokemon experience. Let's say you're an adult or a teenager, whatever, and you don't have enough time to really go back in Sword and Shield, for example, and shiny hunt a Duraludon for the DLC. This is perfectly understandable, and if that's the boat you're in, you could use the bots to claim a free Duraludon, or really any Pokemon you want, for free. There's a lot you can do in there. I have some pretty old tutorial videos on the channel that are still up to date and still work, and you can meet a ton of cool people in there, so I definitely recommend joining. The true last thing you can do is really just play the way you enjoy the most and have fun. Just because I mentioned today that you can transfer in Pokemon from old games to the new ones doesn't mean you have to do that to have a good time or anything. I know right now there's probably multiple people watching that don't want to transfer in anything, they just want to go play it in the way they enjoy most, and that's totally fine. You can do anything I mentioned in this video to help prepare for the DLC, or you could just go in blind and have fun, do whatever you want. Right now we're like 10-11 days away from the DLC. It's going to be a good time, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace out everyone, and subscribe.